All right, what's up, everybody? I hope y'all can hear me. Give me a second before we get this show started. Hope y'all can hear me. Hold up, hold up. Let me make sure that y'all can hear me. All right, if y'all can hear me, press 1. All right, give me a second. I'm going to make sure the sound is good, that you all can actually hear me. All right, let me see. I don't see it on here. Okay, let me see. All right, we good. Okay, so shout out to everybody that is in the chat. We're going to be talking about Olivia Dope. We're going to be playing that video, and we're going to also talk about Wendy Williams, praising Nicki Minaj. So let's start with that. All right, let's go to Wendy Williams. Okay, let me make sure I get the picture right because I don't want that picture in front of my face. I don't want it in front of my face. Okay, we're going to have to fix that. Okay. Let's see. Oh, no, that's that. Let me lock that. Okay, hold up, y'all. We got a full show today. Where's Wendy picture at? There we go. I want to make sure I put her picture up here. Dang, are they going to let me move her picture? All right, she's just going to block me. Hold up, you guys. I want to make sure we get these. Okay, there we go. Okay. We're going to talk about Wendy Williams. Woo, we got her on here. So today she praised Nicki Minaj, and she said that Nicki Minaj is different and that she spit bars pretty much that she's better than these up and coming female rappers, even though they got hits. She said that they better. So she was talking about Nicki Minaj today on her show. I don't know if y'all checked it out, but she definitely talked about it on her show today. So I want to say this, but Nicki and Wendy had a hate and love relationship, love and hate relationship, because Wendy can really throw shade at Nicki. And then Nicki started to throw shade at Wendy Williams by talking about her husband left her and etc. They was really going at it. So with that being said, I'm glad that Wendy gave Nicki Minaj her flowers. But what Wendy Williams should have said was, it's time for Nicki to retire. Even though, all that she said, because people were sending me they were sending me the link, and I'm like, did she say what I said? Did she say that she should retire? And they was like, no, she didn't say that. She was giving Nicki Minaj her flowers. I'm like, that's good. But I would have really hoped that she would have said that, now it's time for Nicki to retire and pass it on to these up and coming rappers. And she may say that. She may say it. She didn't say it yet, but she may say it. So we shall see how that's going to go. But I want to give Wendy Williams a special shout out for even being a bigger person and giving Nicki Minaj those flowers, like giving her those flowers. That's really dope. So that was great on that. I did y'all see that? Let me see y'all thoughts on that. But did y'all see that? Okay. Did I see that? Or did they used to use Booth as a pawn to spite each other? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, let's get to they really had a battle. When I tell you that they had a battle, they had a battle. I remember when Wendy was pretty much throwing major shade at Nicki. I think everybody threw shade at her husband, because that's like a bad look for her brand. And we've been talking about that. That's like a bad look for her brand when it comes to this. So we definitely gonna get into Olivia, Olivia Dope. We're gonna talk about that. And we're going to play her video because some people didn't get the chance to see her video. So we're going to play her video, and then I will be right back with my commentary on the situation.
Hi, everyone. I am doing this video today to finally explain my departure from See the Thing Is podcast, as well as the Joe Budden Network. I sat with this for 3 months, anxiously debating with myself whether I feel comfortable enough to express my reasoning for my departure. I have to read this because it's a lot. After 3 long months of anxiously debating whether I feel comfortable enough to express my departure from the See the Thing Is podcast. I'm sorry. I don't even want to do it again. I just want to get this over with because it's been a lot on my spirit.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of sleepless nights in the past couple of months. I have constant reminders of what has transpired, so I just kind of just have to bear with me as I try to get this out. My departure from See the Thing Is podcast, as well as the Joe Budden Network, I am here today to, still uncomfortable, but find the bravery to finally speak on a very embarrassing situation. Not only to start my healing process, but to help give encouragement to others who have similar stories of sexual harassment in the workplace. On January 18th, 2021, Joe Budden sat in on a recording of the female-led podcast I was a part of and continuously made sexual suggestive remarks to me that made me extremely uncomfortable, as well as fearful of dampening the mood if I didn't laugh along while he made those sexual remarks to me. Those moments were not only, excuse me, those moments not only live on the internet forever, it also forced me in the decision of quitting the podcast. And I'm now in a place where it was traumatizing, embarrassing, and I've decided that I have to actually speak up because not only was it important for me to walk away from it, it also is important for me to speak up, not only to help heal myself, but also to probably help others in the future and let them know that this probably wouldn't be the best situation for you to enter into working with this person. I'm sorry, I need a moment. Within these past 3 months, I'm gonna just be very frank. Within these past 3 months, after I left, I've been feeling stuck. Mentally, emotionally. I've even had to have a conversation with my daughter on why it's important for you to speak up when somebody crosses a boundary with you, because there is now footage of her mother on the internet with somebody crossing a boundary with her mother. and that's on there forever. And I want to lead by example and let her know that that is not how somebody should speak to you. And that also is a situation where if somebody does cross that line, you have to speak up. Everything that transpired in that episode happened while we were recording. Some of it was edited out. Some of it did stay in there. And I'm going to reiterate the timestamps of how everything transpired. I'm gonna go ahead and start from 13 minutes and 48 seconds. Joe calls me out by saying, I've never reached out to him privately or personally. This information is important to this entire scenario because it proves my lack of familiarity with this person. And that is what makes everything that transpired after that so uncomfortable. Even though I tried my best to laugh through it, to not, like I said, dampen the mood of the room while we were recording. At 14 minutes 34 seconds, there's an edit in the recording because Joe says him and I should speak more because, quote, he's been wanting to fuck me since we've met. Everyone in the studio, including production staff, laughed uncomfortably while one of my co-hosts confirmed that to be true. I am mortified by this revelation, not only because it's revealed while we are amongst the presence of all of the production staff, but it's also being done while we are also recording audio as well as visual. That scene was cut out and it jumps to Joe repeating, we should speak more because we have the least dialogue. At 19 minutes and 26 seconds, another edit happens because Joe makes another suggestion to having sex with me. This is shown, Joseph makes another suggestion to have sex with me. That scene is edited out, and what is shown in right after that is me closing my eyes, saying no, and then he says, never mind. At 21 minutes, 30 seconds, Joe tells me to hit a button, bitch, because I didn't hit a sound effect fast enough. At 24 minutes and 54 seconds, Joe makes a comment that I am throwing my singleness in his face, and he thought we were going to be a network power couple. Once again, I'm trying to laugh all of this off. As it's transpiring, I reply by saying, sorry, Joe, we're not. At 25 minutes and 42 seconds, I make a comment about relationships in general within the conversation. Joe retorts that my shirt that I was wearing isn't buttoned like I'm single. Excuse me, I have to repeat that. My shirt that I'm wearing isn't buttoned like I'm single. I pause, cover my chest with my hand, and try to brush it off once again and continue the conversation. At 31 minutes, 42 seconds to about 35 minutes and change, Joe makes me feel like I'm in a hostile work environment by letting my co-hosts know that I am carrying the group because they don't dress sexy enough. Because now, not only am I embarrassed for myself in being objectified, but also you're making other women that I have to work with on a regular basis uncomfortable by telling them they don't dress sexy enough. Like I said, this transpired while recording, in front of cameras, and in front of the entire production staff. So with that, I'm sorry. I pretty much react by looking away and looking down in discomfort several times, because he has also said this in the past, and it actually created a passive aggressive and competitive environment with myself and my former co-host, where she admittedly attempted to shut down every idea I brought to the table because it wasn't well received by Joe and Ian, his business partner. That same former castmate often relayed group chat conversations back to Joe, which I personally felt was done because she wanted to secure her spot as his favorite, because he's made it clear to the entire group that he favorites me. Fast forward, we usually take a pause for about 10 to 15 minutes during recording to kind of regroup and get to the next segment. During that break, I leave the studio to go inside of the green room where Joe is sitting there alone. He asked me if I was okay, and I just immediately said yes, to not even try to further any sort of conversation or uncomfortableness. He then tells me he's gonna come back and sit with us and just give an on-air hug to lighten the mood. I say, okay. Fast forward to 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 3 seconds into the show. Joe returns and he mentions us and just giving us our accolades as we've been doing good thus far. This scene is edited once again because, let me rephrase that, let me go back. He goes down the line to give everyone their accolades. He starts with Mandy, he goes to Bridget, and then once he gets to me, the scene is edited again because he says Olivia is unique because I want to fuck Olivia and the fans love her. That scene is edited out. Those words are edited out. But what's left there is me widening my eyes in shock and embarrassment, because after he asked if I was okay and he said he would come back to lighten the mood, I didn't think he would once again reference to wanting to have sex with me. At 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 5 seconds in the timestamp, Joe asks if he can give me an on-air hug. My co-host said yes, they insist, and I slowly get up to hug him. Still apprehensive, I give him a hug somewhat of a distance to kind of hug, no pelvis there. It's unbeknownst to me until I actually watch back the episode that he was moving his hips while he was hugging me. I laugh uncomfortably because I don't know what else to do at that point. It's nervous laughter at this point. Everyone else is like kind of chuckling, and I sit back down, and at 2 minutes, 17 seconds, and I'm trying to like just get all of this out because at 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 38 seconds, after I sit down after the on-air hug, I grab the microphone and I say, this is uncomfortable. That's pretty much the end of the episode that was recorded. After the recording, Joe was asked while he was still in the room with everyone, if he wanted to delete the parts he made where he made passes at me. He said he didn't care. As long as I'm fine with it, then the entire room pretty much looks at me and said, I just say I'm fine with it too. Feeling pressured, I say I'm fine. A few minutes later, I was called back into the studio to see if I wanted to hear the unedited version again and decide if I really want to keep it in there. I listened to it again, and in my ears, it sounded like everyone was laughing. So who am I to say this needs to be taken out? I don't have much say in this situation. I've already been belittled in this situation by being sexually harassed and objectified. Because just to break from me having these bullet points, at the end of the day, that's what sexual harassment in the workplace especially is. Belittling someone, taking away their dignity in those moments of seeing them less than. So as much we can say these are jokes, I'm an employee. I didn't have a previous rapport with this person before coming onto this podcast. I didn't have any romantic relations with him, nor did I want to at any given point in time in my life. And many would probably ask, well, if you know the history of Joe Budden, well, why would you sign on to do something like that? Let me tell you right now, if you're going to work and your intention is just to go in and do your job, it should be just that, no matter who's there. If you have no dealings with this person, they even admit to having no outside conversations with you up until that point. At no time should anybody feel comfortable enough to say anything of that nature to you. I don't wish anything that happened to me in that moment on anyone, because like I said, it was extremely embarrassing. I am mortified that when people search Olivia Dope, the brand that I've spent 10 years at least building, that comes up. I am mortified that after I quit, I had to have a heart-to-heart conversation with the child I gave birth to. I'm sorry, it's not this fast. It's New York. It's New York. I am mortified that I had to have a conversation with the child that I gave birth to, because she can find it on the internet. Her friends can find it her teachers can find it on the internet and say, look, that's your mother being belittled and sexually harassed and called a bitch. And I had to explain to her that is not how someone speaks to you. And told her, if someone does do that, you have to speak up. But I didn't myself speak up until this point. So I was being a hypocrite. How can I tell my child, when someone sexually harasses you, you have to tell someone you have to speak up, and I'm not doing the same thing? So that is literally why I'm here today, to speak up for myself, start my healing process, like I said, and continue on with using my voice. There was attempts to intimidate attempts to silence me, I can't be silenced. I absolutely cannot. After listening to the recording again, Joe wasn't there. I listened to the recording with some of the production staff members. Once again, everyone, chuckles. So I'm like, well, I mean, if everybody's chuckling, just keep that in there. It wasn't until one of my castmates, Mandy, informs me that although the audio sounds funny, I looked uncomfortable. She looked over me and she saw that I was uncomfortable. So she suggested that we shouldn't keep those moments in the episode. And I agreed because I was uncomfortable. So they were edited out. I just wanted to speak my piece. It was really, really hard to even get up to this point. Sorry if I had to speak slow. Sorry if I had to stutter, and I just really had to take the time to really formulate what I was going to say and how I was going to say it, because there's so many thoughts that go through my head about this whole scenario, about the situation, that it's been hard to even get it out in front of this camera right now. At this point in time, I just recommend any woman that thinks about working with this person in any capacity, please think again. I should have walked into this situation doing a bit more research on how work environments are with him. I should have taken heed to the accusations that have been in the past, even though they are more so in his personal life. Those should have been red flags for me as well. But at the end of the day, regardless of all of that, no one should ever feel comfortable enough to speak the way that person spoke to me. Ever. No one should ever feel comfortable enough to make a workplace environment completely hostile and toxic the way that person did. No one should ever feel like they can be sexually explicit and suggestive, not only to you while you're coming in just trying to work, but also in front of the entire production staff to belittle you. It should never happen. After I left, once I decided to quit, I informed my lawyer. My lawyer got on a phone call with his lawyer and informed his lawyer that these are the reasons why my client is leaving this network. She will not be returning. Once my lawyer informed his lawyer, I then informed my castmates via text, explaining to them that I am not built for the Joe Budden network. My apologies to them, but I've prayed on it, I've meditated on it, but this is just not the right fit for me. No one responded in that moment, and I was removed from the group chat. But I did speak to both of them a week after. Also, after my departure, Joe then went on his podcast and made this statement. Excuse me, hold on one second. Joe made this statement on his podcast.
Enough of this Karen looking like a baddie. Shit.
HR, Joe, HR.
I need to be like Ross. See, if Ross, was you ever hire any women? No, I'm one.
So y'all pretty much hear what she said, okay? And I have a couple of things that I want to say in this whole ordeal. Y'all saw the title, and I want to get into it. So you all looked at the screen. Y'all saw the video. Many other content creators played the video. And I said, hey, I want to play the video as well. But I do not believe her. I do not believe Miss Dope. And let me tell you why I don't believe Miss Dope. Number one, if you were warned not to work with the Joe Budden podcast because he abused women, you ignore that and then you go work with him because, in your words, if you go into a work, your intention is to do your job. But you were warned that you were working with a sexual predator and an abuser, but you ignored that and you went on and worked with Joe Budden, okay? So you on this podcast, you working, and everything that you're saying has been edited out. We don't hear no inkling of sexual harassment on any of the audio. Even when I saw the clip of the show, of the episode that she speak of, you don't hear any allusion of sexual harassment. The only thing that I hear that Joe Budden called her a B. And I don't think that's disrespectful because it's a lot of gay guys call women B's and they say the B word and they don't get canceled. During that episode, her female co-host said, oh, you can't really say the B word unless you got a flip of the wrist, unless you got that, then you could call us a B. So right in there, that's disrespectful. So if I take D up my butt, I can call you a B? Okay. And again, I personally believe that she wanted Joe Budden's attention. I got a DM. Okay. I'm not going to show the DM, but I got a DM. And pretty much when I was going back and forth in the DM, this is what this person told me. And I'm just going to say allegedly that she's upset that she didn't get paid some more money. So now she's going with this story that Joe Budden is harassing her. And another thing that she was saying, she said that I told my daughter about the harassment. I told my daughter because my daughter might see the video on the internet that her mom have to experience that. And I'm like, what your daughter gonna be witnessing? Because what I heard, I didn't hear nothing that was sexual harassment. So, and I say this humbly. Why didn't you, Ms. Dope? I'm telling you, Olivia, why didn't you go to the popos? You're going on the internet telling Instagram, in return, we're telling YouTube about your experience instead of you going to the police. Not one time did you say, I went to the police to file a police report for sexual harassment. You said you went to your lawyer and your lawyer contacted Joe Budden to give the reason why you quit the Joe Budden podcast. Not that just give a reason why you quit Joe Budden. You didn't say, well, we about to file a lawsuit and stuff like that. We need a settlement and all this. And let's be clear. This is an attack on a black man. Once again, when Joe Budden gets in the news for something, another person come out and say, well, Joe Budden did this. It's another attempt to take down a black man. I will tell you this, Charlamagne the God, I did hear you on the Breakfast Club, my brother. You are the last person to make commentary or a comment towards somebody with dealing with allegations when you were accused of raping a teenager. And she went to your party and she was raped and she said that you did it. So you are the last person to come out and speak on this matter. So with this woman, and I said, where the police report? Where's the lawsuit? You're going live on Instagram, and this is all for promo for her to start her own podcast. Okay, so why go start your own podcast where you can get some clicks and views and all of this. This is what it's about. Because if this was such a serious matter, this would have been on the police record. It had been a police report. No police report, no nothing. Then go to the cops. Then file a complaint with the EOC. Is it the EOC? What office do you file a complaint with when you're dealing with sexual harassment? They have a whole department. What office? And this is my opinion on the matter. She came out, and I'm not one of them brothers that believe all women. That is dangerous rhetoric. My dear sister, in this book, she speak about this, about the danger of believing all women, because some women do lie. We are not going to sit here with this theory and narrative to believe all women. Brian Banks was a black man, and that black woman lied on that black man. He spent couple of years in jail. He couldn't go to college for a football scholarship. He lost all of that. And guess what? The women lied. So let's not sit here and act like women don't lie on men. Not all women lie, but some do. That's why in this particular situation, get the police involved, let the detectives investigate, and then you come back and you say this is what the conclusion of the investigation. But you're not going to sit here and tell me that he did all these things with everything that he did. It was edited out. So we automatically should just take your word for it. Automatically, we should just take your word. And I am not a person that's going to automatically take your word. What did you file something with the EECO? Is it a record that you filed and you told them what happened to you with the EECO? Did you file that? And if so, I want to see the records of that, because you're going live on Instagram. Why it's not a coincidence that you're now want to go live as soon as the Joe Budden podcast is trending, and it's a situation going on with Rory and Mal with their contract stuff. Then now you want to come out. Rory and Mal, did you all witness Joe Budden doing these things? I believe that this woman is a liar, and I don't believe nothing that woman says, because she annoyed people that was around her. Say, but don't work with Joe Budden. If we want to believe that, don't work with Joe Budden. But you automatically ignored it, and she act like she just is beautiful. Okay. What woman do you know that would do a podcast and have her shirt unbuttoned? What woman do you know that would do something like that? They was on the podcast. They were having conversations. She didn't say, well, privately, he pulled me to the side. These advances. Everything that she said was on the podcast. They were doing a show. So if you were harassed, why didn't you say, hey, Joe, stop harassing me? You didn't say that at all. I'm just saying. So I don't believe this woman at all. I don't. And unless I see some other evidence from her, then maybe we can revisit this conversation. But everything that she said is, it have all been edited out. You can't hear all the timestamps. You don't hear nothing that dealing with sexual harassment. The hug, you don't see him wiggling around. It was a hug. She made it seem the hug that he forced us of, that you could have easily turned down the hug. Now, if you're getting harassed, why would you hug a harasser? Why didn't you refuse to say, oh no, bro, I don't want to give you no hug. I'm good, no hug. We get a handshake. But you hugged him. It was on camera, and I did not witness this man wiggling when he gave a hug or moving side to side, hug you. It was an embrace, and that's all that I witnessed. And everything that was it was cut out and it was edited out. So we should automatically believe your word. The answer is to that, brother, sister. No, I'm not just going to believe your word on that. So, really quickly, we will open up the phone lines. I don't know if some people want to call in. Okay. Give me a second. I don't know if y'all want to call in. Press 1 if you want to speak on this matter. We will open up the phone lines. If you want to speak on this matter, press 1. And we will open up the phone lines and allow you all to call in. So if you want to speak on the matter, press 1, and I will post the number in the chat. So just let me know. If you want to speak on this matter, press 1. Okay. To be, it was in a goofy matter, right? It's not what it is. So I'm just saying I don't. So if you want me to open up the phone lines and speak, and you want to speak on this matter, press 1. We want it really short. So let me see. If we get 3 1s in the chat, I'll open up the phone lines and I'll allow you all to speak. Okay. And until then, we're probably just in it. And that's what I'm saying. Why is it just coming out? Come on now. I said the same thing. Why now? Why now is this just coming out? Okay? If you want the phone lines, if you want to give your opinion, press 1 and we will open up the phone lines and allow you to call in. We only got one in the chat. Okay. Let's see. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna do it this way because I'm not gonna do Blog Talk Radio today because I don't feel like dealing with that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the ghetto way. I'm gonna put my phone up to the mic. I'm gonna do the 972 number today. Okay, give me a second. Put that in there, the 972-674. That's the one we're gonna use today, moderators. I'm gonna pin the comment because Blog Talk Radio was acting up with me earlier. So I'm gonna do it this way. All right. So if you want to call in, that is the number, 972-674-9462. That is the number. Keep it brief. Have your statements together. Know what you're going to talk about and all that. And don't be calling it being long-winded. Get to the point. So if you want to call in, that is the number. Okay? That is the number. Now, I don't know if it's going to work. So we just need one person. Okay. There we go. Hey, you live on the Wiley Show.
Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
How you doing, brother?
All right.
This is 1838. You know I'm a fan of your show, but today I'm disappointed in you and people in your chat.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us why.
I'm disappointed because y'all victim shaming this woman when this woman is going through a traumatic experience and nobody can tell somebody how to deal with their trauma. And I think we are a black society, we are a black community. We too many times want to dismiss the victim. And
so you automatically believe that she a victim. So you believe all women. So any woman, you believe all women. Anybody that come out with an allegation, you just automatically believe them because they're a woman?
No, I believe that woman. And I believe that woman because, first of all, I have 2 years of editing experience. I can show you clips on that video, not with her video, but it's other videos that you can see how Joe Budden cut the clips up, or Joe Budden staff cut the clips up and took out the pieces where he was really disrespectful towards her. And you can see she was uncomfortable hugging him. And when you call that woman a B, I don't care if it's a joking way or not, that's not your place to disrespect somebody under that manner.
He's a rapper, though.
You know
He's a rapper. Rapper use the word B word all the time. So what's the point?
I always
That's not
give it down because, frankly, the preacher, you know what I'm saying? You don't have a right to call no woman a B. That's not something that she prefers to be called. You know what I'm saying?
Plenty rappers that use the B word. He's a rapper, though.
I mean, but this is what I'm saying. That don't make a difference, Wiley. It's no different than like, okay, let me put it this way. You might not have a problem with somebody calling you a nigga. You know what I'm saying? You might not have a problem with it. Your chat might not have a problem with it. But I might have a problem with somebody calling me a nigga because that's not a word I use. That's not a word that I embrace or appreciate. You know, that's not a word I use in a positive experience. You know what I'm saying? So just because you might not feel a certain way or your chat might not feel a certain way, that don't mean I feel a certain way. If that means it's offensive. Despite if everybody else is okay with it. Just because I'm the minority, that means my feelings don't matter when it comes to certain things that I want to be said to me.
All right. Well, we thank you so much for calling in, brother.
Okay, can I say one more thing and to the offense of the woman? What I want to say is Joe Budden has a history of this. He had a history with Tahiri, how he used to be verbal abusive.
Has he ever went to jail with this history? Have you ever been locked up because of this history?
You don't got to be locked up.
I'm just asking a question. If he have this history and he's such this bad person, why he not locked up in prison? I'm just saying, if you have this history, where have you been in jail because of this history?
Come on, Wiley.
I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking this question. What I've just heard is a bunch of people that's using his name for clout, and they know, oh, let me just pander to these victims and let me victim myself and say this. But I'm like, where's he at? Where the police at? Where the investigation? That's how I'm looking at it. Where is the investigation?
That's not always true, man. Because let's put it this way, and I'm gonna speak to your audience from a relationship standpoint, especially women. When a woman break up with a man, she don't break up with a man for that day. She already was broken up with that man 6 months ago or 8 months ago, even maybe 3 months ago. But it was a moment that came in her life, that came in her brain at that particular situation where she just said, I had enough and I want to move on. And that could be the same thing with this woman. This woman could have had a moment where she maybe ain't want to come out publicly because she don't want to deal with the backslash, or maybe don't want to talk about her trauma, wrapping it up. And then when she see Roy and Maul's situation, maybe that was her moment to say, you know what, now it's time for me to speak my truth. You might not like the timing of it, but you cannot predict when somebody should be able to speak on their trauma. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Thank you so very much for
have a good day,
calling
man.
in.
I'm a fan of your show.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye. All right. All right. Call in. The number is in the chat. 972-674-9462. That is the number. Okay. That is the number. 972-674-9462. Okay. That is the number. And I'm just giving my reasoning with that, y'all. So, okay, here we go. This is another call. They've been calling in. They really want to get their opinion across. Go ahead, caller.
The number.
Go ahead. Hello.
Hey, Wally, how are you?
You're live on the air. I'm doing good.
Oh, good. You're doing good this Monday. Wally, how did you feel when allegations were made against you?
Again, this is not about me. This is about this woman with Joe Budden.
Wally,
this is about this woman about Joe Budden. This is about this woman about Joe Budden. This ain't got nothing to do about me, because I'm sitting here on a Joe Budden podcast and want to work with a Joe Budden podcast. Get your disrespectful behind gone. This ain't about me. This is about Joe Budden. That's my name and in the title. That's what it is. It's typical black woman. They want to flip the script and make it about you when it's about this woman, Olivia Dope, and Joe Budden. This ain't got nothing to do with no Wiley. Don't make this about me. The typical black woman want to flip the script. Hello? Hello? I did hung up on you because it's about Joe Budden and it's about Olivia Dope. This have nothing about me. Again, this have nothing about me. Okay. It's not about allow. I have a right to choose who I want and I have on the show. It's about whoever went on my show. That's just what I want to do. I am the one that make the final decision. You call it to my show, so I have the right to have the decision to have you on or not have you on. I have that right. All right. Make me no difference. Let's see who else is on this line. You live on the Wiley Show.
I wanted to talk to you. I'm not going to disrespect you or anything
Go
like
ahead.
that. I want to talk about why you say Olivia lying automatically.
I don't believe her. Where's the police report? Where's the EEOC? Where's the investigations at? We just gonna automatically believe this ex-employee, former employee that no longer work with the company that's gonna come with these rumors during the same week that 2 former employees that was fired. Now we automatically want to believe this woman. No, I need more information. I need more evidence for me to believe this woman.
So basically, you saying you need more receipts. But I mean, like, who's gonna have who's gonna have receipts for that automatically off the top? And it just seems like you're biased right now because you're supposed to be saying allegedly, because what if it becomes true? What if it come out that she's true? You just automatically striking her down like she's lying. How do you know she's lying? You know, he has a history. He beat Tahiri's butt.
But this ain't got nothing. That situation is different from this. We're talking about Olivia. This is what we want to know. And what gets me with her, that according to her, I was warned not to do the podcast because of the allegations, but she did it anyhow. And another point that she said, I told my daughter about the situation, but you didn't tell the police. You didn't tell the police. Come on now.
Okay, so a lot of people don't tell the police. They be scared.
But you tell YouTube, if you so scared, hold on,
before,
caller. I want to tell you, caller, if you're so scared, why are you telling Instagram and not the police? What Instagram gonna do?
Because now there's some people that's coming after him now, so maybe she feels the confidence now. Maybe she feels confident enough to come out now because of the two guys. I mean, like, come on now. You can't just knock her down and say she's lying. You just supposed to be saying, well,
I don't believe her. I don't believe her.
Okay, you don't believe her.
It was the same black woman that lied on Brian Banks, and he lost his career, and that black woman lied, and she was black and lied on Brian Banks. So I'm not going to believe, I don't believe all women. I have to look at the evidence, and right now, I'm just not going to take her word for it. I need to hear the audio recorded.
I don't believe all women either, but your title actually says she lied. You made
Period.
A statement, and that's not right.
And I stand on it. What's not right? It's not right that we automatically just believe her. That ain't right.
I didn't say I believed her, but I'm saying let's just listen before you call her a liar.
I listened, ma'am, but I came to a conclusion. I sat in my gaming chair. I drunk my coffee.
I'm from Mob. I don't want to upset you.
I drunk my coffee. And I listened to her diligently. I listened to her 3 times, and I don't believe her.
Okay, baby.
I still love
Everybody
you.
entitled to their own opinion, so I'm just gonna leave it like that and see how it all pans out. But I love you, Wiley.
I love you too. Now, what if it come out that she's lying? Is she gonna call back in and apologize? And,
I'm gonna call back and I'm gonna give you $20. $20. Remember me? I gave you $10.
Yes, you did.
I'll call you back and give you $20.
Okay.
If she's a liar, I'm gonna give you $20. I kid you not. I want to say $100, but I spent up all my stimulus money.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'll take the 20.
I might even send you something from Amazon.
Okay.
You moved into your new place.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Towels or something.
Yes, thank you.
You have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Okay, bye-bye. Okay. Yes, Ms. Dope is a cloud chaser. I said what I said on here to show. We have the phone lines open up. We have the phone lines open up. And, so we got time for about 2 more callers. Y'all have been blowing up these phone lines. So call back in. We only could take 1 caller at a time. Okay. So we only could take 1 caller at a time. Let me see if I can get this caller on. Okay, we're going to take 1 call at a time. All right. So, what do y'all do? Do y'all believe her? Okay, do y'all believe her? It's up to you if you believe her or not. Do you believe her? The number is on the screen. The number is in the chat. I pinned it. So, that's the number. Okay, I'm going to call this person back. Give me a second. Hey, you called in? Okay, I'm going to call this person back. They called in a couple of times. Hey, you called into the Wiley Show? Hey.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hi, Wiley.
Hey.
It is kind of funny that, the stuff that's going on with Joe Budden, this woman, she's been fired for like 4 months now. But I'm not going to call her a liar because if you watch that whole podcast, that episode, you can tell something was going on with them before, like, everything happened. So I'm not going to call her a liar, but, Joe Budden, what you see is what you get, in my opinion.
Did you hear? Okay, you said it seemed like something is wrong, okay? She could have had a bad day. She could have ate a Spore burger. Anyway, but did you hear Joe Budden harassing her? Did you hear that?
No, it was the co-host. They was in a group chat. The 3 girls was in a group chat. One of the girls leaked the group chat to Joe Budden, and the girl who is accusing him now, like she was out of place because when me and my coworkers are in a group chat, I don't expect you to leak it to the boss. So.
Yes.
Yeah. So that it was just the energy of that whole podcast was off, and you can tell she was uncomfortable when the podcast was over. But like I don't know, like these women, I'm talking to you women. When something happens, please report it.
To the
Report
police.
it to
Yes.
the cops, so we don't have to go through this. And Wiley, another thing, you call this woman a liar, but did you have that same energy for Meg Thee Stallion with Tory Lanez?
I still had the same energy that she telling the truth that she was sitting out pinky toe, and he was arrested. He was arrested. The police, the state got involved. He was arrested and charged.
We have no proof that this man.
The proof is
shot
in
this
with the
woman.
state. They arrested him. Megan came out and said what she said, and she got the police and the state to back her up.
For possession of a weapon, not assault and battery, not attempted murder.
Listen. We'll see how that trial gonna go. But I heard a little birdie said that he's gonna try to take a plea. But this ain't about Joe. This ain't about Tory Lanez and stuff like that. But he's guilty.
It's not about Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion. But I'm saying, how can you believe her and not believe this woman? You said this woman straight up lied.
The police is involved in Tory Lanez, and the state of California, the district attorney is involved.
Wiley, no, it's the same thing. Honestly, the only thing this woman, it is the same thing. This woman didn't report it, and Meg, she didn't report it either. So the state picked it up, and maybe the state will pick up Joe Budden and his charges.
We shall see.
You know, but
as of right now, he's still a free man, and the police ain't knocking on his door right now. We haven't got that information. I'm just saying. I'm hearing your point.
Yeah. But then like I said, when you go back and watch, something was going on with those girls and Joe Budden because they got mad at the other podcast that he promoted and he didn't promote them. So there was some things going on. And, I don't know if they act inappropriate with him all the time, but if that's how they act off scenes, I mean, you can't report it when it happens on scenes. You can't feel some type of way. Just don't. It's boundaries. And Joe Budden, to me, it seems like he needs an HR department at his network because the boundaries that was crossed with Rory and Mal, and now with this lady here, he needs HR, and he needs to, understand that as a business owner and as a boss, there are certain lines you should not cross, with your employees. I would never do that. So my boss cannot do that to me because, we're going to be in HR and he's probably going to get fired. So it's just boundaries that, we should not cross. And if we feel some type of way, being assaulted or inappropriate at work, please report it so, when things happen like this, the media don't be looking at her like a clout chaser because maybe she is telling the truth.
All right.
We don't know.
Well, thank you so very much for calling in.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, the number is in the chat. 972-674-9462. I will call you back, but you gotta have your number showing. So if you call in private, you gotta keep calling in until you can get through. 972-674-9462 is the number. Okay. All right, that is the number. Okay. So in this situation, we're having this conversation. I know a lot of people don't like it, but this is the conversation that we have to have when we're concerning this matter. I do not believe her. I need to see more evidence, maybe an EEOC complaint, or maybe we can get some more information. So give me a second. Okay. Hold on. They said, who is this trying to call in? Hold on 1 second. See, if you call in private, sometimes it won't let you through. Okay, give me a second. Let me call this person back. So y'all got to call in by y'all real number with this. Hold 1 second, you guys. Hey, I can hear you calling to the Wiley Show. Go ahead.
Good evening. I've been listening to your show, and I watched the videotape. And I am a black female. What's concerning to me is that some women, thinks it's all fun and games at the job when the host, such as Joe Budden, comes for other women until after he has no guests and he uses his staff. I'm not saying that she was truthful. I don't know if she's telling a lie for money. What I'm saying is the way she's coming out with her information and what she's saying reminded me of the Howard Stern show. And everything was all fun and games until he started coming after his staff. Then everybody is upset. Then everybody don't think it's funny. Same way they did Ellen DeGeneres. It's all fun and games until they come after them. Now I'm watching her tell her story, and I can see that on her shirt. Please explain to me why it's important for me to see your cleavage in order for me to believe your storyline. And I've seen a lot of women in show business, I'm quite sure you have too, Wiley, that come to the workplace provocatively dressed and still expect to be respected. I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding her message. Some women who are sexually harassed, I believe it. They don't go to the police. They're afraid if they go to the police, they might be blocked. However, coming to social media will block you just the same from getting a job working anywhere else. And I don't know too much about YouTube, podcasts, and everything else. I don't think there's no retirement in that for her to go out there and be bashing people that's putting money in her pocket to take care of her daughter. And then the other thing was, you went to your daughter to explain to your daughter about sexual harassment in the workplace. And I'm quite sure your daughter been through pre-K all the way up to 12th grade. And I had all kinds of sexual harassment from the boys when she was being fresh with her girls, trying to get a boy, trying to get a date for prom, and everything else. Now we're working in a workplace. Come on now. I just don't believe her story. I really don't believe her story. I don't want to wait until the evidence is there because too much time has passed away. I just think she was a hurt young lady because Joe turned around and recognized her and targeted her. And she didn't think it was funny because she was the bunt of his attention right now. And I think at the end, because she really quickly before she finished her speech, she let us know she lawyered up. So it ain't gonna be too long before she be asking for a lawsuit and wants the money because she don't think she was paid enough working for Joe. I just think everything is still suspect, and I do feel what you said. And I respect your opinion on that. I follow your opinion on that.
All right. We thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, Wiley.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. You live on the Wiley Show.
Hi, Wiley. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi. I enjoy your show. I want to say that first. And so as far as the topic is concerned with what we're talking about, I just think we got to be careful not to discredit this young lady because we don't know what happened. I do agree that the timing was weird with everything that's going on with Rory and Mal. Like, I definitely was like, yeah, it kind of seemed like maybe she was just teaming up with them. So I agree that we need some more information, but I don't want to say that she's lying just right off the bat. So I think that's where a lot of the conflict is coming from.
Press 1 to hear.
All right.
Your show is scheduled to start in 21 seconds.
Disagree because she came out publicly, and I have a right as a public commentator to say she's lying, and she needs to give us more information and more evidence. And why didn't she go to police?
And I agree with
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3,
no evidence.
2,
Now she's
1.
out money. Oh, you got a lawyer and all of this. This is a money grab, and all of this. Unfortunately, I haven't seen that one report that she's filed a complaint or that she filed a complaint with the police. And this is a segment. Why are you rushing Instagram? If she did not go to the police, why are you rushing Instagram first? What we gonna do? Only thing we gonna do about it, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna move on to the next subject. And guess what? Joe Budden podcast still gonna be Joe Budden podcast. If Charlamagne the guy sit on his show and was accused of rape, why do you think that Joe Budden's gonna be canceled? That's just not gonna happen.
But don't you think that might make a person like
feel you on that. Thank you so
So I
very
just, I just don't want to put her down because we don't know. And
Right.
hopefully she puts out some more information and she actually files a report so that we have more.
But this is the thing I want to say. I want to say this real quickly. About this woman. I hope that she went to the police, because if she didn't, I'm just not going to believe somebody on her word alone, because I'm reminded of Brian Banks. This black man was lied on by a black woman.
Right.
And wasn't charged, didn't go to the police, went to police and lied on her. She wasn't arrested. Her mom sued the school district, and this man's life was damaged for a long time. And what about the women that lie? You know what I'm saying? All women don't tell the truth.
And that definitely is a problem, for sure. Because I'm like, the women that lie, it makes it harder for the women who are telling the truth. So that's definitely unfortunate. But I do know for a fact there are a lot of women who haven't said things about things that have happened to them, and it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Well,
so,
we shall see about this matter. We shall see if Miss Dope telling the truth.
You said what? I'm sorry.
I said we shall see if Miss Dope is telling the truth in this situation, or unless she's on dope and just going to come out and just say this lie on Joe Budden. So we shall see. Right.
And so I definitely hope if she didn't do it before, I hope she does file a police report so that they can do an investigation. But we did see some stuff in the videos, right?
We did see. We heard that he said the B word. We heard that was clear as day. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't hear any harassment. You know what I'm saying? All of them strong allegations you were saying. No, I didn't hear that. But we did hear when he called her a B. But that's not harassment.
Yeah, no. I was talking about the video as far as when he was hugging her and he was like kind of gyrating his hips and everything. Like, if my boss did that to me, I'd be like, what the hell? What
I wouldn't even hug my boss. I'm going to tell you this. I don't hug my boss. I don't hug my boss. I don't want to hug my boss. So my thing is this. This lady, either she's stupid or she's doing this because I want to make it that she's intelligent. Like, why are you hugging somebody that everybody say he's a woman beater, he's an abuser, and yet you still hug her? Like, this is not making sense to me.
She kind of, Wiley, she did kind of explain that. She said that, it was a little uncomfortable, and so that he came back and he was like, well, can we have a group hug or whatever? Can we hug each other so that we can make everything seem like it's right? So I can see where she was like, okay, all right, well, let's do it. It's weird. Yeah, I don't hug my boss on a regular basis, but I'm just saying if I did hug my boss for whatever reason and they did something like that, yeah, that's not appropriate. I think I would have said something in that moment, so I don't understand why she didn't. I don't.
All right. Thank you.
But she didn't say anything. That's weird. And maybe she was just trying to, smooth everything over. But it was definitely, when I watched that video, I was like, yeah, that's not okay.
All right. Thank you so very much for calling in.
Definitely not.
All right.
Yeah, but thank you, Wiley.
Love you. Okay, so I got the 646 number. Blog Talk Radio is like literally working right now. So if anybody else wanted to call in and they wasn't able to call in, you could do the 646-716-8447 number. Like, it is working right now. At first it wasn't working, but that's why y'all heard the intro music. My mistake. I was trying to test it and see was Blog Talk working, and now it's working. I'm like, okay, now it's working. Okay, 646-716-8447. For all the people that say that I'm trolling and all that, listen, this is a show. This is entertainment purposes only. And listen, what I say is all entertainment purposes only. And another thing I want to say to Miss Dope, I really hope she went to the cops and filed a police report and all of that. And she could have showed us that police report too, since she wanted to tell everything else on her social media page. So that's just how I want to say that. All right, so I'm going to open up this line. Okay, we have a caller in here. All right, shout out to we had about 3 or 4 callers today. And there's a couple of other people tried to call in. So let's see if this is going to work. 9867, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you.
go ahead.
Hi, Wiley and chat. This is the voice of New York. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, Wiley. So I don't think Olivia is lying. So, I think you're talking from a privilege of misogyny as well as you being a male and not feeling in a work environment, depending on the power structure dynamics, how it is to come at your boss when they are harassing you, and sometimes not even feeling supported when they are by the other employees there or how HR works. Right? It happens all the time. And sometimes some people will think, alerting the police or alerting whomever can definitely damper their career prospects. And a lot of women suffer in silence. Now, this is the exact same thing with the R. Kelly stuff. We saw, this when I was younger, when little R. Kelly pissed on that little girl on the tape. Blatant as day. And they still say he didn't do it. And the proof is in the pudding. So many things happen, and they still said R. Kelly didn't do anything.
The victim came out and said, didn't the victim come out and say that wasn't her? Okay,
but he still pissed on a little girl.
Well, that's all allegedly. We can say allegedly.
Oh, but that was still, he was still protected.
And he was found not guilty.
All these years. He's just now going to jail. Same thing with Bill Cosby. Same thing with Harvey Weinstein.
But he's still innocent until proven guilty. He's still innocent until proven guilty because he has to go to trial.
There's nothing to prove innocent. If I saw you murder somebody with my own eyes and it's recorded, what are you proving at that point? What are you? What is it?
I'm speaking more so in the court of law, but how is this situation tied in with Olivia is saying? Because this is something that she's coming out with no evidence.
What do you mean there's no evidence? It's her experience, and we can't dim other people's experience. This is why victims don't like coming forward. This is why there's a lot of molestation coming up, because you don't believe the victim. And that's on the little boys as well as little girls. When people are saying that they're going through something, whenever they decided to speak up, we cannot tell them when it's time for them to speak up. That's their trauma. That's where their experience. And maybe she did come out with something, but again, they're going to say you're lying. Or you're just mad that you got fired, or blah, blah, blah. Remember, again, this is someone who's a woman, a black woman as that, and we're the least protective going against a powerful man. Although he's not Jay-Z, he still has some weight that can definitely change where you can go, because that's how it is. So the reason why she decided to do it right now is that now the thing is hot, right? Maury and Mal just came out. Okay, now people be like, okay, this is my experience. Okay, like she's going to ride that tail. Why? Because most of the time people silence black women with their trauma. Okay, yes. Should there be more proof? She probably will have more proof. And I will say this, any woman who ever experienced this, I do think always have a log, okay, like timestamp, what you were wearing, everything that happened, because people tend to not pretend like think you're lying or something. And then understand your steps of how to report it. Although you may not want to, sometimes you have to do it just to protect yourself, because you're going to have someone like Wiley who's going to say, hey, where's the proof in the pudding? Why didn't you go to the cops? Do the cops protect black women or people in general? Look what the cops doing to us right now. Why won't we go to a system that don't even protect us in the beginning?
But not all cops think that way, though, ma'am. It's some cops that will protect you.
But how many domestic violence cases are out there and women have reported to get, a restraining order and that person still murders them? Recently in Florida,
but you would run to Instagram, though? But you would run to Instagram and tell strangers?
You know why? Because at least if something happened to me, there's millions of people who heard what happened.
But instead of going to the cops, okay.
Well, you could do both. Publicity is publicity, right? You know why? Because sometimes it takes that voice to push forward in social media for the cops to take you seriously. Hence why now, without social media, would these cops have been reprimanded of how they kill black lives? Absolutely not. It took a whole movement and also social media with cancel culture to have these cops accountable. Let's talk. That's how it really is. So yes, I will go to social media, especially if I feel like I'm being silent. Because if anything happens to me, at least it's up in the universe, Joe Budden did it. And then she can also follow up, because you don't know what she's planning on doing. And we don't know if Joe Budden is going to compensate for everything else that she's going to have to go through moving forward, the backlash that she has to go through. Now, you did mention that there are people who lie. I agree. There are people who did lie. Like, look what happened to Emmett Till. The white lady lied that she got catcalled, and that cost his life. And there are some women who do have that vendetta. And there are some women who do those things. But we can't allow those bad apples in order and use that as a way to silence those who truly need help, who don't feel like they have a voice. I don't think we should do that. Those are two separate issues, and once a victim comes forward, we should support them until with reasonable doubt. I know you want to have the evidence and stuff, but we still let her see what she got to bring to the table. And Wiley, until you're a woman yourself, you don't know how it is. Like you can't. Then your other caller said we shouldn't dress provocative. Dang, like so now.
And that was a woman. I didn't say that. A black woman said that.
I know you didn't say that. A black said that, and that's the same thing. That's basically like you're blaming the woman who dressed this way of like getting raped. Well, if you didn't wear that, you wouldn't get raped. But how about the man who had the urges to do that type of vile act? Why couldn't he control his urges? Accountability is what we need, and unfortunately, we're not keeping them accountable. Keep them accountable.
And my thing is this: I'm so glad that you brought up Emmett Till, because why have no charges been brought against this white woman that lied on him? Why have no charges been brought against this black woman that lied on Brian Banks? We are so quick to believe all women, and that narrative is dangerous because you're going to group in the liars in there, and people's livelihood is going to be destroyed. And then when you get the real facts, you can't go back and get time again. You know what I'm saying? And with Joe Budden, I don't think that someone said he was arrested in 2014, but to this woman, she said she was warned about Joe Budden, and yet she still worked with him. But I would also say this: no one is calling out her co-hosts and say, can y'all come out and speak, black women? They're black, right? Her former co-hosts. Call them out and say, give your side of the story. Now, what if they come out and say she's lying? Is that going to change it up? Or because they're going to be black women? Is they going to be not protecting black women? Like, I just want to know, what is those co-hosts going to say?
So I think it's a multifactorial thing, right? Most of the time people who are abused, if they're also being abused, they like others to be abused, and they don't like when those, sometimes it's kind of like a Stockholm syndrome. Like the other women are like, look, you're hurting our bag, so you're on your own, and it's every man for themselves. If I was ever a victim, I can't expect others who are also being victimized to come up and forward, because everyone is different, and I don't know what internal struggles that person is going, and everyone has to do it when they're ready to do it. Okay? And again, it could be flipped where it could be jealousy, it could be envy, and they might say she's lying just to make her look bad, right? Because sometimes your own can be your own downfall, right? Sometimes women don't support women, especially those that they feel like it's a threat to them. As far as women who lie on men, there needs to be serious repercussions for that, because then it's like the boy who cried wolf, that famous Aesop fable. He kept saying, a wolf is coming, and after the third time, a wolf actually came, and when they ate him, no one believed him, right? So that's exactly what's happening. I do believe there needs to be certain type of protocols in place for women who did lie. If I was Emmett Till's mom or Ken, I'm like, no, we got to trial this white woman. Absolutely not, because how many other black men experience that? Now, I don't have any children, but if I did, I would tell my son, don't flirt with women. Don't make those sexual innuendos. Do not come close to them. Do not even hug them. Just give them a little elbow pound, and I don't even want you to do that. You know why? Because we are in a time where a lot of body language can be misconstrued, and honestly, you don't know what people's boundaries are. So I'd rather you be safe and sorry. Mike Pence, previous Vice President Mike Pence, does not take any meeting with women without his wife present. Just to not have anything or lines blurred. Now, some people are just naturally flirtatious. Some of them are, okay? But some of them will use that as a way, like, look, he violated, he overcame, blah, blah, blah. Because sometimes what they experienced before, they think you're doing the same. And you know what? Like, I think they need to be more trained on both sides. What is best protocol and decorum in the workplace for male workers and female workers. Same thing with women, right? Like, stop flirting, stop touching him, like, say these little conversations. It goes on both sides. Unfortunately, this is going to hurt his brand, and he needs to come up with something. And you know why people, even if let's say she was, we're going to say allegedly, right? The history of Joe Budden is why this story is so much believable, because we're using past history in order to argue why this thing can actually be true. Okay. We see his behavior.
All right. Well, thank you so very much for calling in.
Thank you so much. And I know I'm going to have to get off soon, Wiley. I'm sorry. There's one more point. The B word, that's unacceptable. I'm sorry. I think you mentioned there's nothing wrong when someone calling you a B word or whatever. Like, that's a lot of problematic things. But, yeah, that's all I have to say before your callers come at me, your chatters come at me in the chat.
All right.
Wiley,
thank you
so much, and have a great day.
All right. You too.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Okay, the number is 646-716-8447. The number is in the chat box. So if you want to call in, we will allow you to speak. All right, so let's see. Anonymous, you live on the air. Hey, I can't hear you. You sound so low. Yeah. No, like really low. Can you turn your volume up? There you go.
I had on headphones.
Okay.
How you doing?
Doing good.
Awesome. Okay, so let's dive right on into this. First, I disagree with your last caller. And I also want to commend you for saying what you were saying. I don't know why every time there's something that is tied to sexual type of allegations, people always throw in the whole R. Kelly stuff. So let's talk about the R. Kelly stuff. People said that was R. Kelly on a tape. R. Kelly went to court behind that in 2008. Those jurors saw that tape. They found him not guilty. The person that was alleged to be on the tape said that that's not me. Her parents said that that's not my daughter. Her parents continued to work for R. Kelly. So it's sad to say that here in 2021, we're still going back to R. Kelly peed on someone when R. Kelly is not currently in jail for that. You all are not talking about the current people that have R. Kelly in jail, which means that you probably don't believe those women that has made those accusations against R. Kelly, because there's been so much evidence. Tasha K has put out a lot of evidence. There's a lot of evidence about these parents, all of these parents being in cahoots. So the only thing that people can revert back to when it comes to R. Kelly is the 2008 case and the sex tape that alleges that R. Kelly was on, okay? So let's just move past the whole R. Kelly stuff. Now, I agree with you. I don't think that we should be automatically presuming that somebody is guilty because someone comes out and make allegations. Let's quit with calling these people victims. They have not been found guilty of crimes, or they have not been proven to be victims. There are merely allegations, okay? So we're going to call them accusers. So this Olivia Dope, she is an accuser. She's accusing Joe of sexual harassment and making comments about her that she felt uncomfortable with. Now, here's the thing. With this whole, for instance, like with the whole T.I. thing, this whole T.I. Tiny stuff, right? It took for Sabrina to get mad with Tiny to, have all of these people come out against T.I. and Tiny. So now Joe Budden has issues with Mal and Rory, and now all of these people is riding this wave, riding this bandwagon. My thing is that if what she's stating is true, why didn't she go to the EEOC? Why wasn't there no investigations into the allegations? Why jump on a public platform? So for the last caller that said people are scared of their brand, they're scared of losing money. So you losing money is more important than you bringing forth the person that you're alleging did something to you. You're scared about being ousted in a community that you don't even feel safe in. So how does that make sense? Is it about money, or is it about your safety or your comfortability? Like, do you want to continue to network in the community? So you say, you know what, the hell with that. I'm going to deal with that. But when I'm done with dealing with this community, I'm going to come out several months, years later and said, this person did this to me. And everybody is supposed to jump behind you and say, oh, she's a victim. Really? But you didn't care about being a victim in the moment that happened because you was worried about your money. So I think that, you know, the laws is too lenient as it comes to women when they make these allegations because things go back years and years, and a lot of the stuff you can't even prove. So now let's go back to statistics, EEOC. There were 7,500 sexual allegations claims that was made in 2019. Of that, only 2% was found to be true. So are we going to ostracize the 7,500 people that somebody complained about and said sexually harassed them or sexually assaulted them? Are we supposed to automatically believe these people that want to move up the ranks and that will do anything by any means necessary to get there, and they don't care who they step on to get there as long as they get there? Like you said, Brian Banks, where is that woman? Where's her mother that lied? They got over $1 million from the school because of that allegation that she made. She didn't get no jail time. Nothing happened. Nothing happened to her. The same thing like you said with the whole Emmett Till thing. What happened to that woman? Nothing happened. These women are able to lie about their age, make accusations, and when the accusations is proven to be false, where a man spends 20, 30 years, 10, 15 years in jail, when it's proven to be false, nothing happens to them. They don't get any type of repercussions, and they're able to go on to the next trick and make the next accusation. So I'm with you on that. I think people need to stop, okay, because you do have sons, nephews, uncles, brothers, your husband, your boyfriend, your granddaddy, somebody of a man's stature, okay, that any woman can go out and make an allegation about. And are you saying that people are supposed to automatically believe those women against your loved ones and said, oh, they are victims without any evidence? So, again, I agree with you because we need evidence, and these people need to come forward faster than what they're doing. Nobody is telling you how to deal with your trauma, but there is another party involved that has the right to prove their innocence against your allegations. So if you wait several months, several years later, how is that person supposed to prove what you're saying or what you're claiming is a lie? They don't have anything to prove that because now you decided to wait however long and you expect for somebody to believe you. It's called innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. Y'all need to get the law together. So that's my turn, Wiley. But yeah, I agree with you.
And we're having this conversation because no evidence came out as just of yet, and people are saying, "Oh, we automatically believe her." I'm like, that's dangerous. Should we see some type of evidence and proof on this matter? But okay, thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, you know what? It is very dangerous. It's just like the same thing with the whole Tory and Megan, the whole everything. It's very, very dangerous to just take a side without having the full display of the evidence because, again, these people are innocent until proven guilty. They have the right to their day, if this is something that goes to court, to prove they're innocent. Now, sexual harassment should not be tolerated, but my thing is that if you felt uncomfortable at any moment in time, you say, hey, stop, that makes me feel uncomfortable. And when she was talking about how he was swagging his hips, if you can see the video, his body it wasn't like he was up on her, like hunching her. There was space in between, the lower part of his body and the lower part of her body. But again, if she felt uncomfortable at any time, she should have made that known in that moment, not wait however long later to say, oh, you made me feel uncomfortable.
All right. Thank you so very much. We're going to move on to the next caller. Okay. Bye-bye. The number is 646-716-8447. All right, Joe Budden, if you want to call in, you can call in. All right. So we want to say shout out to him for reaching out to us. All right. So, boy, that caller hung up. We're just going to bring him on. Call back in, callers. If the 3 callers, because y'all had hung up, so call back in. I want to make sure that we get to everybody that want to be heard. And everybody, we're going to hang on here for about 2 more minutes. Okay? And then we're going to go ahead on and bring this show to a close because we've been over here over an hour. Disclaimer, I don't support Mr. Kelly, but I agree there should be a statute of limitations to make a report. Excuse my spelling. Somebody says she also said she didn't expect him to say those things with the camera rolling. She says she was uncomfortable. Watch a couple of clips on the episode. I need to see more footage and recordings and clips. Not going to cut it for me. What the hell I'm listening to? I can't with these pick me. Someone give me some time stamps for the brother. Somebody said set time limits. All right. 3939, you live on the air.
Hey, Wiley. Hi, chat.
Hey.
This is Passionate. I was calling because I feel like with this lady, I believe her, and then I don't believe her. Because what happened to her is sexual harassment, but I feel like at the time she didn't think it was harassment, but over time somebody convinced her, girl, that was sexual harassment, and then she decided to come back at it again. Because, I mean, it's not appropriate for him to call them bitch. It's not appropriate for him to hump on her. But, you know, a lot of times people view that as playing, and men do those things when they get clues from you that it's okay. If you laughing and kikiing when he do something little, then he going to do more and more. So if she started out laughing and kikiing, and then all of a sudden it wasn't okay, you know, you have to let them know that the dynamic has changed. And so I feel like, you know, she was kikiing, and then maybe he went too far, and she didn't like it, and, you know, she didn't say anything. So sometimes that happens, that sometimes after the fact somebody convinces you that it was harassment, and you didn't really initially think it was. So I kind of feel like that. And then the thing is that, too, she's working for somebody like Joe Budden. It's no secret about his personality. He's reckless at the mouth. He goes too far. That's a part of his brand, you know. And if you in journalism, you should be able to swing with somebody like that. And you should be able to move fast with them and throw it back on them. And you know how to get them up off of you. So, you know, you could tell them, okay, you know, you playing too much, or, you know, don't act like you ain't never seen titties before. Or, don't, you know, you should be able to come get with him. You know, you should not be running and crying, you know, especially if you're going to be a broadcaster with somebody that's a, you know, a broadcaster like him. You should be able to swing with him toe to toe, not running and crying. Or you should have shut him down and say, I don't play like that. No, you ain't none of my man. You know, you need to check him. And so, to me, I feel like I kind of believe her. I believe it happened, but I don't think it might have been sexual harassment at the time. Because it's really not harassment until you tell them it's harassment. You know, because it might be, hey, you might be his next hookup. You know, he don't know it's harassment until you tell him. That's not cute. That's not cute. That's not cool. I don't like that. You know, so, and the thing is, also as women, there's no need for us to play like we don't know what we're doing when we dress the way we dress. Now, if everything you got on is tight and your titties is hanging out, you know what you was doing when you put that on. You meant to get the reaction you got, you know, and so if you're going to get mad because somebody say something about your titties hanging out, then why you got your titties hanging out? You know, if you're going to get mad because somebody, you know, make a comment or they're staring at you, then why did you put that on? You know, if you was about business and you was a serious woman, then you should have came there looking like one. You know, so to me, you know, it's like you crying after the fact when you knew what you was doing when you put that on and you left out the house. So I kind of like, I'm not all that far behind her, although I understand what she's saying. But, I mean, some of it you need to, like, you know, come on, be real, girl. You know, so I don't know how much money she going to get. And you need to stop saying to call the police. It is not a police matter. It's maybe if he humped on her, then, and she want to say that's sexual assault, that he assaulted her physically. But other than that, it's not a police matter. The police do not want to hear that. You need to go to HR, or you need to go to the EEOC and file your complaint, you know. But other than that, you know, that's about all my take is on that, Wiley.
Okay, so you're 50% on the situation. You 50% believe. Okay, that was that caller opinion. Anybody else that want to call in? The number is 716-8447. Okay. That is the number. We're going to bring this show to a close. Thank you so very much to everybody that tuned in. This have been lit. And we will see y'all on the next episode. Thank you all so very much for calling in. Thank you. Okay. And we will see y'all on the next episode. I want to give a special shout out to all the moderators in the house. Love you all. Super excited. Thank you so much to the 100 people that liked their video. That was lit. Thank you so very much for that. It was a good thing. Thank you so much. Okay. Somebody said, this is embarrassment. There's Me Too. It's a black woman over here. Women never get points. Okay. I feel you on that. Thank you so very much. And we'll see y'all on the next live. Peace. And make sure y'all subscribe and thumbs up. Thank you.